You know what's funny? Most of us like to believe we're lovable. We tell ourselves, who wouldn't like me? I'm kind, I'm hardworking, I even say God bless you when strangers sneeze. But here's the cold hard truth, someone, somewhere can't stand you right now. And the best part? You probably don't even know why. Maybe it's the way you laugh. Maybe it's the fact that you didn't reply to their WhatsApp message quickly enough. Maybe you just exist and your existence irritates them. Now don't panic. Don't run around asking people, do you secretly hate me? That would be awkward, but here's what the Stoics knew thousands of years ago. Human beings carry envy, insecurity, and pride like luggage. And if you're not aware of the things that trigger people, you'll walk around confused, thinking the world is unfair. Today, I want to show you 15 reasons why people secretly hate you. And trust me, it has nothing to do with you being evil. It has everything to do with how fragile human egos are and how the Stoic way of life can free you from needing everyone's approval. So sit back, breathe deeply, and prepare yourself. Some of these reasons might sting, some will make you laugh, but all of them will give you a clearer picture of why people act the way they do and how you should respond if you want peace of mind. Reason 1, you're too confident. Let's start with this one, because it's the biggest trigger. When you walk into a room with your head held high, when you speak calmly without stuttering, when you seem comfortable in your own skin, it burns some people alive inside. Why? Because your confidence highlights their insecurity. They see in you what they wish they could be, and instead of learning from you, instead of saying, wow, this person inspires me, they say, who does he think he is? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced this every single day. People envied his power, his calmness, his ability to handle stress. And what did he say? Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop performing for people who resent your confidence. Keep walking tall, keep speaking with clarity, just don't mistake arrogance for confidence. The Stoic difference is simple. Confidence says, I know my worth. Arrogance says, I better than you. One inspires respect. The other breeds hatred. So if people secretly hate you because you're confident, relax, you're probably doing something right. Reason 2, you don't tolerate disrespect. This one is powerful. People expect you to play along with their nonsense, to laugh at their rude jokes, to let them talk down to you, to keep quiet when they step on your toes. But the moment you draw a boundary, the moment you say, don't speak to me like that, or you simply walk away from someone treating you badly, boom. Now you're too proud or too difficult. Let me tell you the truth. People hate you when you refuse to tolerate disrespect because it forces them to face their own bad behavior. And that's uncomfortable, Seneca once said. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. When you refuse to let someone's disrespect unconquer you, when you don't beg for their validation, you become untouchable. But here's the catch, they'll resent you for it. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone try to insult a person who simply stayed calm, looked them in the eye, and smiled? That calmness destroys the insulter. Because deep down, they wanted a reaction. They wanted to control your emotions. But instead, you kept your peace. So yes, people may secretly hate you for not tolerating disrespect, but ask yourself, would you rather be hated for your strength or loved for your weakness? Reason 3, you're independent. This one is sneaky. People often say they admire independence. They'll clap for it. They'll say, wow, she doesn't need anyone. He's so self-sufficient. But deep down, independence can make people despise you. Why? Because it exposes their dependence. When you don't need constant validation, when you're not begging for attention, when you can eat alone at a restaurant without feeling awkward, people look at you and feel a kind of discomfort. They think, how can they be so comfortable by themselves? What wrong with me that I can do that? Epictetus, the slave philosopher, understood this perfectly. He said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Your independence shows that you are master of yourself. But here's the irony. Instead of being inspired, many will secretly hate you for it. They'll whisper, she thinks she doesn't need anyone. Or he's too cold, too distant. But the truth is, independence is strength. It means you can choose relationships, not cling to them. You can choose opportunities, not beg for them. And you can stand alone without crumbling. Remember this, people may secretly hate you for your independence, but they'll also respect you for it. And respect lasts longer than fake approval. Each of these traits is a sign of inner strength. Each of them is something the Stoics would encourage. And each of them, unfortunately, will attract secret haters. But here's the twist, their hatred has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the weakness they see in themselves. So don't lower your light. Don't bend your standards. The Stoics never tried to please everyone. They tried to master themselves. And that's your path too. Reason 4, you don't follow the crowd. Humans are herd animals. We find safety in numbers. If everyone's buying the latest iPhone, eating at the new restaurant, or using the trending slang, we feel better doing the same. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you refuse to follow the crowd, when you walk your own path, even if it's unpopular? Suddenly you become a target. People whisper, "Who does she think she is? Why can't he just blend in? She must be trying to act special." But the truth is, you're not trying to be special. You're simply living according to your values. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by flattery and corruption, wrote this in his journal. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. In other words, just because the crowd is moving in one direction doesn't mean it's the right direction. When you refuse to join blind trends, when you choose sanity over popularity, people will resent you. And hear the irony, the same people who mock you today will secretly admire your courage tomorrow when the trend dies out and they realize you were right all along. Reason 5, you successful. Yes. The classic one. Nothing breeds secret hatred faster than success. When you start winning, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or even your personal growth, people notice. They clap for you in public, but in private, something stings inside them. Because your success reminds them of their stagnation. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Here's the thing, your success exposes the cravings of others. It highlights their dissatisfaction with their own lives, and instead of fixing their situation, they project that frustration onto you. So, when you're promoted at work, don't be surprised if your friends suddenly distance themselves. When you find love, don't be shocked if others roll their eyes at your happiness. When you start glowing with peace, some will secretly pray for your downfall. Why? Because to them, your life feels like a mirror, one that reflects what they could be doing, but aren't. Here's the Stoic move. Be grateful for your blessings, but detach from the need for everyone to celebrate you. Not all applause is sincere. Some of it is camouflage for resentment. Reason 6, you don't pretend. This one is underrated. People secretly hate you when you don't play the fake game society demands. Think about it. Most social interactions are built on a little bit of pretending to like people we don't like, pretending to be impressed by things we don't care about, pretending to be fine when we're not. But when you refuse to wear a mask, when you're honest, straightforward, and authentic, that threatens people, because your honesty exposes their hypocrisy. Epictetus put it like this: if you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be a philosopher, think. If you wish to be good, do good. Notice the simplicity. He's saying stop pretending. Just be. When you live like that, people who thrive on fakeness won't like you. They'll call you blunt or harsh. They'll say she has no filter. But what they really mean is, her honesty makes me uncomfortable because it shines a light on my lies. So don't bend yourself into a pretzel to make others comfortable. If your truth irritates them, let it. The Stoics remind us, you can control your character, not their perception. Reason 7, you're too calm under pressure. Have you noticed how people get angry when you don't get angry? It's almost funny. When someone yells at you, they expect you to yell back. When chaos erupts, they want you to panic with them. When things fall apart, they need everyone to feel as stressed as they do. But then there's you. You stay calm. You breathe. You respond instead of reacting. And guess what? That calmness drives them crazy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The Stoics trained themselves to remain steady no matter what. They knew that losing your calm means losing your power. But here's the catch: when you stay composed while others are falling apart, they don't see it as strength. They see it as coldness. They whisper, "She doesn't care." Or, "He thinks he's better than us." In truth, your calmness is not indifference. It's wisdom. It's the discipline of choosing peace over panic. Unfortunately, many will misinterpret it. So, yes, your calmness under pressure might make people secretly hate you, but it also makes you unshakable. And being unshakable is a gift that no amount of hatred can take away. Each reason proves a simple truth. Hatred is often a reflection, not a reality. People don't hate you. They hate the parts of themselves they see in contrast with you. The Stoics understood this. That's why they taught, don't take hatred personally. It's not your burden. It's their battle. Reason 8, you don't need constant validation. Here's one that really triggers people. You don't need applause to feel worthy. Most people are hooked on validation like it's oxygen. They need likes on Instagram, compliments at work, and constant reminders that they're doing great. Without it, they feel invisible. But when you show up and live your life confidently, without begging for approval, that when the quiet hate kicks in, they think, why is she so comfortable in her skin? Why doesn't he care about being noticed? Who do they think they are, walking around like they don't need us? But the truth is, you've realized something powerful. Your value doesn't come from others. It comes from within. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." When you break free from the prison of validation, others will resent it, because you remind them they're still trapped inside. Reason 9, you refuse to gossip. This one is golden. Nothing bonds people faster than gossip. It's the cheapest form of connection. You know the drill. Everyone's whispering about someone who isn't in the room. They're trading stories, exaggerating flaws, and having a good laugh at someone else's expense. Then comes the awkward moment. They try to drag you into it. "So what do you think of her? Come on, don't act like you don't know. Just between us." And when you refuse to join, when you stay silent or change the subject, suddenly you're the outsider. They might even turn the gossip onto you. Epictetus had zero tolerance for this. He said, "You can be invincible if you enter into no contest in which it is not in your power to conquer." Translation: don't waste your energy in battles that lower you. Gossip is one of those battles, but here's the price. You refusing to gossip makes others feel judged. They hate that your silence exposes their smallness. So yes, people will secretly hate you for not playing the gossip game. But in the long run, you win something far more valuable: integrity. Reason 10, you don't let emotions control you. Most people are emotional roller coasters. They rise and fall based on how others treat them, how the weather feels, or what traffic looked like that morning. But when you're stoic, when you control your emotions instead of being controlled by them, you become a mystery. People can't figure you out, and that bothers them. They say things like, "Why aren't you mad? Don, you care at all. How can you stay so calm?" Seneca nailed it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The Stoics knew that emotions can lie. Anger, fear, jealousy, they exaggerate reality. So they train themselves to respond with reason instead of rage. When you practice this, people might secretly hate you because you don't play their emotional games. They can't manipulate you with drama. They can't drag you into their storms. But here's the good news. While they waste energy in chaos, you can serve yours for growth. And in the end, that's why they'll secretly admire you, even if they won't admit it. Reason 11, you value time too much. This one stings people more than you'd expect. You've realized time is the most precious currency. You don't waste it on meaningless arguments, fake friendships, or shallow activities. You guard your schedule like a treasure chest. But here's the catch. When you start saying no to things, people take it personally. They think, "She thinks she's too busy for us. He's acting like his time is more valuable than mine. Wow, look at him always protecting his calendar." Yes, actually. Because the Stoics remind us that life is short. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." So when you choose meaningful work over endless parties or solitude over gossip sessions, people might hate you. But their hate is really their fear. They're afraid to admit they've been wasting their own lives. And you? You've simply learned the ultimate Stoic discipline, valuing time more than ego. Each of these reasons reveals something deeper. People don't hate you for who you are. They hate the parts of themselves that you refuse to compromise on. Reason 12, you don't pretend to be perfect. People love the illusion of perfection. Social media, office gossip, dating, it's all about polishing an image. But you? You don't play that game. You admit your flaws. You laugh at your mistakes. You don't walk around pretending to have it all figured out. And ironically, that makes people hate you. Why? Because while they're exhausting themselves trying to look perfect, you relaxed in your imperfections. Your authenticity threatens their performance. Marcus Aurelius himself said in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." When you're real, it exposes the phoniness of others. They'd rather hate you than face the mirror. Reason 13, you can walk away. Attachment is society's favorite chain. Relationships, jobs, possessions, people cling to them like lifelines. But when you show that you can walk away, without drama, without begging, it unsettles people. You're showing them the freedom they secretly crave but fear to claim. Epictetus taught, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." That's freedom. And freedom terrifies the dependent. So when you quit a toxic job without crying, or end a draining relationship with dignity, or leave a crowd that drains your energy, people might secretly hate you. Because you've proven to them what they already know, they could leave too. They're just too scared. Reason 14, you don't chase people. Here's one that burns the ego. You don't beg for love, attention, or friendship. You give space. You let people go if they want to go. You're not in the business of chasing. Most people chase because they believe their worth is outside themselves, but you've learned the Stoic truth. Your worth is not up for negotiation. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And nothing screams freedom louder than refusing to chase. But here's the twist. When you don't chase, people feel exposed. They realize they're not as indispensable as they thought. that bruise to their ego. That's where the hate creeps in. Reason 15, you live by principles, not popularity. This is the one that guarantees enemies. Most people bend with the wind. They'll say one thing today, another tomorrow. They'll compromise values just to fit in. But you live by principles. You've drawn lines you won't cross, even if the crowd mocks you, even if it costs you status. Marcus Aurelius was crystal clear on this. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Living by principles makes you unshakable. But it also makes you unpopular. Because while others sell their integrity cheap, you remind them that integrity has a price. And some people would rather hate you than pay it. Why their hate is your freedom. So here we are. 15 reasons why people secretly hate you. And if you've been nodding along, laughing at the truth of it, maybe even recognizing your own life in these points, let me tell you something powerful. Backhand index pointing right there. Hate is not your problem. Backhand index pointing right there. Hate is their teacher. Backhand index pointing right there. Hate is proof you're living differently. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil, but I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and I know that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. Did you catch that? The Stoics weren't shocked when people disliked them. They expected it. They didn't waste energy asking, why don't they like me? Instead, they asked, how can I live rightly, regardless of how others feel? And that's the lesson. People will secretly hate you because you're confident when they're insecure. You honest when they fake, you calm when they chaotic, you principled when they compromised, you free when they enslaved. Their hate is not a curse, it's confirmation that you on the right path. Marcus Aurelius also said, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. Translation, who cares how many secretly hate you? Their judgment doesn't define your worth. Your principles do. And Epictetus drops the mic with this one. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. So let them hate. Let them whisper. Let them misunderstand, because while they burn energy trying to pull you down, you're climbing higher, calmer, stronger, freer. That's the Stoic path. That's the freedom they'll never understand. Now let me ask you, are you ready to stop apologizing for being different? Are you ready to live with the strength of Marcus Aurelius, the courage of Seneca, and the freedom of Epictetus? If this message spoke to you, then don't just listen, act. Guard your time. Protect your peace. Live by your principles. And when the hate comes, smile, because the hate means you're free. And if you want more wisdom like this, less fluff, more fire, hit that subscribe button. Join this community of modern Stoics walking the ancient path. Because remember, life is short, but wisdom makes it wide.